Let's take a look at this example of adding mixed fractions with different denominators. So I'm going to rewrite my problem and I'm going to find the least common denominator here, which we learned in our first lesson is 10. 5 times 2 is 10, therefore 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10, and 1 times 5 is 5. Now I can simply add the 2 plus the 3, which is 5, and the 5 plus the 2, which is 7 over 10. Now here's a shorter way we can do this. First, by rewriting our mixed fractions, I'm going to convert these mixed fractions to improper fractions. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. And now I'm going to use a shortcut method to cross-multiply to find the values for the numerator. 5 times 5 is 25, 2 times 16 is 32, and this is going to be over a denominator of 2 times 5, which is 10. 25 plus 32 is 57 over 10, which is the same value as 5 and 7/10. Let's try another example of subtraction with borrowing. Here I have 15 and 1/3 minus 7 and 4/5. So my first step is going to find a common denominator. We learned in lesson 1a, my common denominator is going to be 15 in this case. 5 times 3 gives me 15, therefore 4 times 3 gives me 12. 3 times 5 is 15, therefore 1 times 5 is 5. Now I notice that I cannot take 5 minus 12 because 5 is too small. So what I'm going to do is this concept of borrowing. I'm going to borrow 1 whole from the 15 by subtracting 1. 15 minus 1 is going to give me a whole number of 14. Now that 1 that we borrowed, we're going to add to our fraction, but that 1 becomes 15 over 15. I'm going to use that 1 and add it to my 5 over 15 that I already have. So 15 plus 5 is 20 divided by 15. And now, if I take my whole number 14 with the 20 and 15, I have 14 and 20 over 15. Now I can subtract minus 7 and 12 over 15. 14 minus 7 gives me 7, and 20 minus 12 gives me 8, all divided by 15. Let's take a look at another example here for more practice. Here I have 78 and 2/5 minus 14 and 7/10. My first step is going to be finding the common denominator, the least common denominator, which we know is going to be 10. 10 times 1 is 10, therefore 7 times 1 is 7. 5 times 2 is 10, therefore 2 times 2 is 4. Now I notice that I cannot take 4 minus 7, so I'm going to borrow from 78 a whole number 1. That gives me 77, but my 1 converts into a fraction of 10 over 10. I'm going to use that 10 over 10 that I borrowed, add that to the 4 over 10 that I already have, and that gives me 14 over 10. Combining this, I get 77 and 14 over 10. Now I can take that fraction and subtract 14 and 7 over 10. And this is going to give me 63 and 7 over 10. Now you try and let me know if you have any questions or comments.